Hello, today I'm going to talk about the different short and long-term lead generation strategies that you can use to grow your business. So, this presentation is going to explore two different schools of thought for lead generation and provide some tips on when to use each method. So, I kind of started off in business and was presented you either do cold marketing or you do organic marketing. And I don't see a lot of creators talking about the benefits of doing both. And then the cons kind of each side as well, especially when you're first getting started. So I'm going to go through all of that, show you how you could combine them both, or help you figure out which strategy is best for you so that you could really thrive in your lead gen efforts. Okay, so we're going to start with cold marketing outreach. And I know a lot of you may be thinking like, oh, it just doesn't feel good to reach out to strangers. And I was actually taught cold marketing in a really weird way. So I'm going to go ahead and teach it in a way that I'm using now that feels a lot more aligned and give you tips in that regard too on how to make it feel authentic, even though it's cold outreach. So, defining cold outreach to begin with is reaching out to someone that you don't know and offering them your product, service, or program. And here's how I would go about doing it and who it's best for. So, let's go ahead and start with the best time to use it. So I think that this is a really good marketing strategy, especially when you don't have a strong social presence, but you do need clients right away. You're kind of on a deadline. You don't have 6 months to a year to grow your social channels, and you're just ready for clients now. And that's not to be said that you can't use this in the future either. I think they are really great combined. But if this bucket is you, I would definitely recommend learning cold social outreach as soon as possible. So, how to use it? Some strategies that you could use is cold emailing, using Apollo.io, LinkedIn outreach, using Sales Navigator, and volume is very important when it comes to cold outreach. So, with these strategies, I actually don't like to really cold DM on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok because those social platforms are more for people using them to kind of connect with each other, where LinkedIn is a business specific platform and email is, if you're emailing someone's business address, that is a business proposal. And so that's where I feel like cold outreach is a really great tactic. If you did want to use it on other social platforms, what I would suggest there is actually getting to know the person first, having a conversation, not cold DMing them right off the bat, like, hey, buy this from me, but actually getting to know them a little bit, building a relationship, and then pitching them, which also takes a little bit and is more organic outreach. So that's why I recommend these for your first cold outreach. And when I say volume is very important, it's because a lot of people, well, none of these people actually know you. And so most are just going to ignore these messages. And so if you want a response rate, it might be 1 in 100 people that respond to you or 1 in 300 people that respond to you. So you do want to make sure you have a plan to reach enough people so that you are booking calls or you are getting clients from this type of outreach. So you may want to use different strategies and kind of combine them together. So like email outreach, LinkedIn outreach, you could do cold calling. I personally don't like doing that, but it is an effective strategy. You could do outreach on like Reddit. There's so many options, but email and LinkedIn I think are really strong because with email, like I said, you could go to apollo.io, get a ton of leads, email them, and people do check their email inboxes. And as long as you know how to write a really strong email with a great call to action, give value in the email, have a good subject line, people will open it. And then in terms of LinkedIn, if you're connecting with the target people in your audience, people do kind of expect to get pitched on it because it is a platform for business networking. So it's not a shock when someone's like, hey, I do this. Can I help your business? I see that you do this. So that's why I recommend these. Okay, moving on. So these I would kind of consider in between cold outreach and organic outreach. They're not organic outreach because you don't know these people, so it is kind of cold, but you're also not kind of spamming people, I guess you could say, in that regard. So here's some other tactics that you could use if you're in that stage where you need clients right away, but you don't have a big social platform. So Facebook groups has been my number one tactic. And this is because you get in front of so many people, but you don't have them in your community. So they don't know you, but you're able to post in these groups. And if you're not able to post, you're able to search in the groups and see who may be looking for your product, program, or service. I always recommend this. This is my number one strategy to people who are just getting started and don't have a big audience. So definitely could start there. LinkedIn groups, same thing. You got in front of a bigger audience, even if they're not your friends, and you could search the group. Job boards, I did a whole video on this. They're really great if you are like looking to get clients, but you maybe need something more stable in the meantime to stabilize your income while you're growing your social, especially for VAs, web designers, any sort of assistance, any done for you sort of work, even coaching, you could find jobs in that. So that's a good idea while you're building your organic outreach, which I'll get to in a minute. And then paid promotion. Again, you're not technically like in someone's DMs, but if you are paying for promotion, you're in front of a cold audience because social media is presenting that to people who don't know you. So you could do this in a variety of ways. You could do cold outreach in terms of Facebook ads, any sort of other ads, Google ads, TikTok ads, whatever that may be. Or you could pay to promote in someone else's organic community. So what this looks like is paying to promote in certain Facebook groups, paying an influencer to promote your product, service, or program, something like that, reaching out to someone that you know has a big community and paying for a shout out. I've seen that work effectively too. And then also, this is more organic, but just asking your family and friends to share and recommend your business, that is really powerful in the beginning because even though they may not need it, they may know someone who does. And even by them reposting, it's just super amazing how that reaches people. And those people would be a cold audience to you possibly, but they trust your friends, so you already have that little bit of a buy-in. Another thing that I didn't mention is joining communities. So this could look like, again, Facebook groups, but it could look like paid communities that you get into. I got into a paid community, and that's where I got my first few clients, is people asking for help in that community. And people are already more likely to hire you or work with you or sign with you because you have that shared interest and you are sharing that community. So there's a little bit of trust built there. You have something in common. So these are all really great tactics. Again, I don't know if they're like necessarily cold or organic, but they kind of fall in the middle bucket. But I would do, if I had to start over, I would do all of these. I'm doing all of these right now, except for paid promotion. So I'm in Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups. I do still look at job boards to see if there's like anything aligned there sometimes. And then I'm in communities and even trying to join more communities just to network more and build my outreach. All right, now attraction/organic marketing. So best time to use, always. This is one of the best strategies when you're getting clients, because if someone is actively coming to you and saying, I saw your content, I saw your profile, and I want to work with you, it's going to be so much easier to close them versus a cold lead that comes to you and they're like, well, I saw your ad and I'm kind of interested. Or, yeah, you reached out to me and I want to know more about you. Like, these people are hot buyers. They're pretty much already convinced that they want to work with you. And I think it's a really great method of getting clients. But what I would caution is don't rely on this as a source of income while you are building it. So when I've taken a lot of organic marketing courses, they're like very against cold marketing or anything other than attraction marketing. And I feel like this is a little bit misleading because these people have already grown their communities somehow or another. So they are getting this hot outreach and people coming to them ready to work with them. When you're first starting and you need to just make a buck, like, you don't necessarily have that. So if you do want to go all organic marketing, What I would suggest is taking 6 months to a year and really building those profiles before you start 100% relying on this income. Or if you already have that down and people are already wanting to work with you, you're in a really good spot. So definitely appreciate the work that you put in, and then go ahead and market this way. So, how do you use this? I would say pick a platform or maximum two platforms and go all in on this until it generates enough cash flow to keep you afloat. And what I think works best is a long form organic marketing platform and then a short form. So, this could look like YouTube and Instagram, or a podcast and TikTok, or something along those lines like YouTube or podcast and then Facebook. So once you really master one platform, it's easy to kind of jump on over to the next one. But if you're trying to do like 5 platforms at a time, it's really hard to master one, because you want to be putting enough content into this platform that it starts pushing your content out to like the explore page or recommendations or whatnot. And at the same time, you want to be really engaged with your audience in this manner. So you want to make sure that, you're not engaging with 5 different audiences, and that can be a lot to keep track of. One audience is still a lot to keep track of. So that's what I would suggest, is having like a long form and a short form. Unless you're doing this 100% full time and you could go fully into it, then by all means do more. But even handling a few different social medias, it can be hard. I think LinkedIn is a really strong choice too, as a supplement to these, because it is, again, business networking. So always having that at the back of your head is a good thing to think about too. All right. What I have learned is most people need to use a combination of both of these marketing tactics. And that's because when a lot of people start, their organic marketing isn't necessarily able to produce a full-time income unless this is something they've worked on for a couple years. And if you're doing purely cold marketing, you have to put so much into that in order to sustain it. So really doing both is the best of both worlds. That's currently what I'm doing. Realistic expectations are so important as well. So when you start either of these methods, making sure when you're doing the organic that it's not like you're super reliant on, okay, I'm just going to post 10 things and one's going to go viral and my whole business is going to blow up. Like, I really hope that that does happen for you. But in reality, it does take quite a while to like build that following and get people really engaged in what you're doing. And then on the cold aspect too, some people think like, oh, I could just send, 100 emails and I'm good to go. But you really have to do high volume numbers here. And with ads as well, like some people rely 100% on ads, and it is a really great way to bring in clients. But at some point, you'll recognize that you are paying for every single person you're bringing in, and that's not fully sustainable either if you want to get a good ROI off those ads and be operating at a really good profit margin. So what I suggest is, starting off, build your personal brand while you're doing cold marketing. So really engage in both. You'll probably get some traffic from your organic marketing pretty soon into it, not your full income, but you'll start leaning that way, in which case you could pull back a little bit on the cold marketing eventually once you are sustaining the organic, and you'll see it kind of shift, where in the beginning you may be getting more from that cold audience and having to put a lot of work into that volume. So that's where I would say is do both strategies, and you'll kind of see it shift in the favor of organic over time. And that will help you build a really, really strong brand, because like I said, the easiest leads to close are the ones that find you and really resonate with your content. And don't give up too soon. Both of these methods do take time. Both of them take a lot of effort. Even in combination, they take a lot of time and effort. And so stick with it until you start to see results. Okay, why some people give up. So there could be other reasons why this isn't working, which I'm not going to go into in this video. But if you are like, I'm doing all the organic content, I've been doing it for a while, I'm doing all the cold outreach, I'm, hitting high volume, nothing's working, you may want to look at your offer suite, make sure that there is something kind of more low ticket that people could step into and then ascend their way up. It's not super necessary, but what I have seen is like when someone tries to sell like a $5,000 offer and there's nothing below that, it could take a while to see that. You still may get sales from it, but I think that's a harder jump than to like $500, something like that. Look at your marketing. So really look at what kind of message are you putting behind this? Does it make sense? And then look at who you're targeting. Like, do you have a clear niche in mind? And are you reaching out and talking to these people? Okay. Some people give up with, Some people give up with cold marketing because they get discouraged after too many no's without realizing it's a numbers game. So you're going to hear no a lot in cold marketing. It's the name of the game. You're always going to have more people that say no than say yes, and that's okay. It's just that balance, and you have to kind of not let that discourage you and just expect it and realize that each no is on the way to the yes. And so you really want to stick with this, get your numbers down, see what your conversion rate is. Maybe out of 100 people, 2 respond with a positive yes. And so you'll know that, okay, every time I reach out to 100 people, 2 are going to respond on average with a yes. So you could see the results, they're predictable. And I think that's really great with cold marketing is it is a predictable game. Once you can kind of see your numbers, it'll usually fall in line with that. So if you're hiring a sales team, if you're hiring, people to do things, if you are doing cold marketing and ads, you'll kind of start to see where those numbers are for your business. So you can make a lot of predictions and good financial choices in that direction. But what I would say here is expect the no's and don't let that keep you from reaching out, because the reach outs are what's important. Now, in organic marketing, what I see is a lot of people expect immediate results because we really like that dopamine hit, right? Like we like to have it like, okay, I posted about this, everyone should be signing up. And like I said, the organic also takes time to compound, and the organic takes time to build trust with your audience. It takes time for that platform to start recommending your content to people. So don't get discouraged. Really look at it with a long-term horizon of, can I show up with this every single day? Not every day, but on a very consistent basis for 6 months to a year. And I think if you're able to do that and really provide value to your audience, you'll start seeing results come through. You'll start seeing people reach out, and you'll be really, really glad that you did this organic content and really built this trust with your audience. Okay, so in conclusion, I would say create a strategy for consistent lead generation using both cold and organic marketing. Or if something really spoke to you in this presentation and you're like, no, I really need to go hard on this one or this one, go ahead and use some of those strategies. I have other videos in my profile that detail a lot about cold outreach, Facebook groups, LinkedIn, some tools I use to make it easier if you are just getting started. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Keep an outlook for those videos and scroll through and see if anything is really resonating with you, and make sure it feels good, because this is something you're going to be spending day in and day out doing. And then the other thing is just stay persistent. You will see results over time with any method that you use. You just have to be patient. You have to kind of see your work pay off, and you'll be able to get there as long as you just don't give up. So that's my best advice. If this helped you at all, please like this video so you'll receive more content like this on your For You page. And I really appreciate you guys watching. Good luck on your lead generation. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and I'm happy to answer them. Hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.